Now at 5:30 on Newswatch.
Day 4 of the Inman trial is underway today.
It's almost summertime, which means area students are moving out while still helping needy families.
And in sports, the NBA playoffs heat up and crown a Western Conference champion.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is Newswatch.
Authorities say the vehicle believed to be used in an Ohio women's abduction was an old police cruiser with no door handles in the back seat. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rachel Hoops.
And I'm Katie Daup. The details came today during testimony in a Southeast Ohio trial of a man accused of killing his estranged wife. 27-year-old William Inman II and his parents have pled not guilty in the death of 25-year-old Summer Inman. Police detectives told jurors that the car was taken as evidence from the Akron house where Inman was staying with his parents last year. Authorities say Summer was abducted, strangled, and dumped in an underground septic tank behind a church in nearby Athens County. Inman and his parents are being tried separately, with Inman's trial the first of the three. A body found in a river 2 weeks ago has been positively identified as a missing man, and his death is being investigated as a murder. Lawrence County Sheriff deputies say a body found along the Ohio River in Glenwood, West Virginia is that of James Lawson of Proctorville. Detectives say they are working with West Virginia State Police in collecting evidence. Investigators say they believe Lawson was murdered but will not elaborate on how he died. No suspects or persons of interest have been named in the case. Anyone with information is asked to call the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office or West Virginia State Police.
Students moving out of the dorms and out of their off-campus homes are helping needy local families by donating unwanted goods instead of throwing them away. WOUB's Kelsey Borza went out to see how Ohio University's Move Out initiative is coming along.
As students are packing up and leaving Athens, Ohio University and a number of city and county groups are teaming up to make a student's trash someone else's treasure. The purpose of the collaboration is to reduce trash in landfills and save needy residents money, in addition to holding a donation drive at the Athens County Fairgrounds. Larry Lawson is in charge of the Move Out initiative.
It's such a an eye-opening, inspirational experience to see all the hard work from the volunteers handing out free food, clothing, whatever the residents need.
The Move Out initiative collected more than 174 tons of food last year. The organization also collected clothing, furniture, and other reusable items, helping more than 1,200 local families. One of the organizations involved is Friends and Neighbors, located in Coolville.
It allows us to help literally hundreds of families. Literally hundreds of families are helped from this.
The Friends and Neighbors organization has a stand set up right near a dumpster on Court Street to prevent people from throwing away items that they could put to use. The nonprofit groups hope to double the amount of goods received this year with more awareness in the community and by doing door-to-door collections.
Instead of them having to come to us, we're going to go to them. So it's just going to prevent them from, kind of just throwing some things away that can be collected. Just let them know that we're here to help.
There are 8 drop-off locations around town, or you can call the groups directly to have them pick up items from your home. Kelsey Borza, WOUB News.
If you are in need or know someone in need of food, furniture, clothing, or other household items, they can go to the Athens County Fairgrounds today through Sunday and pick up items that students have donated. An Ohio University student has dropped out of the Ohio House of Representatives race. Luke Scott is the Wellston City Council president who was on the November ballot for the 93rd House of Representatives seat. He turned in his paperwork this week at the Lawrence County Board of Elections, resigning his candidacy. Scott says he will finish his term on council and see what happens to determine his path in future elections. The Democratic Party is now responsible for appointing someone to run on the November ballot against current seat holder and Gallia County resident Ryan Smith.
A Tuscarawas County high school has received more than $23,000 to fund a project to benefit 600 students from Stark and Tuscarawas counties. The Ohio Environmental Protection Agency awarded New Philadelphia High School an Environmental Education General Grant for a project that will engage 5th, 7th, and 10th grade students and their teachers in authentic investigations of local ecosystems. Teachers will investigate and collect local species to study in the classroom, observe their habitats and interactions, and will develop experimental designs for their students to investigate these organisms. The Ohio High School Athletic Association will allow wheelchair athletes to compete at a state tournament for the first time next year. Girls and boys will compete separately in the 100 meters, 400 meters, and 800 meters races and shot put. Participants will wear school uniforms and be awarded individual honors, but won't score points for their teams. The top 8 boys and top 8 girls performances in each event during the regular season will qualify eligible athletes to participate in the state finals.
The Ohio Department of Education is dropping a federally funded tutoring program hit with allegations of fraud and wrongdoing. The state had overseen the Supplemental Educational Services program for students at low-performing schools. The state auditor began investigating after allegations of fraudulent billing and tutoring in unsafe conditions. Now, districts will decide which tutors to hire and what services are needed, but the state will stop evaluating tutoring groups. Federal funds set aside for the tutoring could be redirected to give low-performing facilities a longer school day and provide targeted intervention. A West Virginia community college and a university will soon be tobacco-free. A rule approved in late April by the College Board bans the use of all tobacco products on West Virginia University's main campus and all of West Virginia Northern Community College campuses. WVU ban is effective July 1st, 2013, and West Virginia Northern bans goes into effect November 15th. West Virginia University students will pay 5% more in tuition and fees this fall. The increases amount to $145 more per semester for resident undergraduates and $450 more for non-residents. The Board of Governors also approved a one-time fee of $63 per semester to replace all of the individual course fees that students were once charged. Meal plans and housing costs, meanwhile, will rise 4.5% or about $100 per semester. Provost Michelle Wheatley says the additional revenue ensures WVU offers students the classes and facilities they deserve.
Relatives of 3 miners killed in West Virginia's Upper Big Branch disaster are in Washington, D.C. to press for the passage of long-stalled mine safety legislation by July 4th. They'll be meeting with White House Democrats who back the 2010 Robert Byrd Mine Safety Protection Act. The National Mining Association opposes it, and House Republicans have delayed any action. The Boy Scouts of America have agreed to review a proposal that would allow individual units to accept gays as adult leaders. But a spokesman says there's no expectation that the ban on gay leaders will be lifted anytime soon. BSA spokesman Deron Smith says it would be referred to a subcommittee, which will then make a recommendation to the National Executive Board. The process would likely be completed next year.
Bullying has always been a problem for children and teenagers, but a new survey says it doesn't stop after high school.
After the break, we'll have a live interview with a member of the research team that is providing insight on the problem. And accusations that the White House leaked classified information has lawmakers on their toes. Next on Newswatch.
Join us in London as we journey back in time with timeless music.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
And beyond the stars with awesome images of our universe. Don't miss Beyond the Stars.
The Little House on the Prairie books of Laura Ingalls Wilder were inspired by the music her pa played on his fiddle during her youth on the prairie. Join Randy Travis, Rodney Atkins, Ronnie Millsap, Committed, Ashton Shepard, Natalie Grant, The Roys, and Nashville's greatest band. Pa's Fiddle, the music of America, only on PBS.
When we leak sensitive data, we disclose methods, we disclose activities that put our intelligence officials and our military in a more dangerous position. And it should not happen.
Grossly irresponsible. That's what the White House is calling growing accusations and intentionally leaked classified information for political gain. The alleged leaks have lawmakers on both sides of the aisle calling for hearings. Brianna Killar reports.
Early May, reports of the U.S. thwarting a plot in Yemen to build an undetectable airplane bomb. Last week, a New York Times story detailing President Obama's close oversight of a terrorist kill list. Then another describing how he ordered an aggressive cyber attack that slowed development of Iran's nuclear program. Senator John McCain is now accusing the White House of purposely leaking classified information for political gain.
They cite leaked, classified, or highly sensitive information in what appears to be a broader administration effort to paint a portrait of the President of the United States as a strong leader on national security issues. The release of this information in these articles harms our national security and puts in danger the lives of the men and women who are sworn to protect it.
White House officials vehemently deny the charge. Press Secretary Jay Carney said Wednesday, any suggestion that this administration has authorized intentional leaks of classified information for political gain is grossly irresponsible. President Obama's national security successes, like killing Osama bin Laden and taking out a number of other al-Qaeda leaders, are a political asset in an election year. Republicans are no doubt trying to tarnish those accomplishments, but concerns about the leaks are bipartisan. Dianne Feinstein, the Democratic chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, said she was, quote, deeply disturbed by the continuing leaks of classified information to the media. She and Carl Levin, the Democrat who heads up the Senate Armed Services Committee, are discussing a joint hearing into the leaks.
Cyberbullying is becoming a rising concern not just in middle schools and high schools, but also in places of higher education. Brandon Wolf is the Senior Research Associate for the Center of Higher Education at Ohio. Brandon, thanks for being here with us
Thanks
tonight.
for having me.
Now, what exactly is cyberbullying and how is it different from traditional bullying?
Well, cyberbullying is something that people do with an intent of some kind of negative harm or intended consequence done with some kind of technology or of cyber means. So it's not something that is in person, face-to-face, but rather using technology.
Okay, and you conducted a survey with Ohio University students about cyberbullying. What were some of the results?
The Division of Student Affairs and the Center for Higher Education at OU, we surveyed about 2,000 OU undergrads about 1 year ago from now. And we had about 340 respondents. And what we found with the results were that about 17% of those that gave their response were actually identified themselves as being a target of cyberbullying at some point while they were in college. And in addition to that, about 37% know somebody that has been a target of cyberbullying. So over 1/3 knew someone and almost 1/5 have been targets themselves.
Wow, and is there any policy at Ohio University for cyberbullying or bullying that you know of?
There's not a specific policy that is directly geared towards cyberbullying, but given that so many students have been involved with this, it is something that is of a rising concern, but not only at OU, but other institutions. Most researchers, when they look at cyberbullying, they do more of K through 12. And it kind of goes with some logic that if the cyberbullying is taking place in the early stages, it's going to continue on to college, and that is not being addressed.
And you mentioned other organizations and universities. Did you do any work for the survey at other colleges as well?
We did a couple other surveys at smaller institutions in New York and also Northern Ohio a few months ago, and it found similar results. There was well over 50% in each that at least knew somebody that had been a target of cyberbullying, so it is not something that is only at OU.
So what was one of the biggest surprises of the survey here that you found at Ohio University?
One of the biggest surprises was of those that identified themselves as being targets, they actually knew the person that had targeted them. When people think of cyberbullying, since it isn't face-to-face, they think it's more of an anonymous thing, but well over half of the people that responded, they actually knew, or even a close friend or family member were the ones that were cyberbullying them.
And what I know, you mentioned that this uses any kind of technology. Does cyberbullying involve things not only just a computer, but what other ways are people bullying?
Right. Well, what most people think of are things like Facebook or anything on the computer, and Blackboard is actually another area where you don't think, but since there are discussion boards and things, if the instructor is not monitoring, that can also happen. But text messaging, gaming online, anything with technology falls under it.
And the results of this survey are in a book, correct?
Yes, in a book called Misbehavior Online in Higher Education.
Okay, and if someone needs more information about this, where can they go to find it?
They can go to the Center for Higher Education's website and the Patton College of Education at OU.
All right, well, Brandon Wolf, thanks for being here with us tonight.
Thank you.
Media reports say Europe could be working on a limited bailout for Spain's troubled banks. According to the Financial Times, officials are considering a rescue only for the banking sector, and Madrid would only have to implement a few reforms. But Spanish officials have said recently they have no intention of seeking a bailout from the EU. The reports come as Spain gets ready to sell up to $2.5 billion worth of bonds. Chairman Ben Bernanke says the Federal Reserve is prepared to take further steps if the U.S. economy weakens, but he didn't signal any action is close. Bernanke says the European debt crisis poses significant risks to the U.S. financial markets, and he noted that the U.S. employment remains high on the outlook for inflation subdued. Most economists don't expect further moves at the Fed's next policy meeting at June 19th and 20th. And on Wall Street today, a rally in stocks on Wall Street mostly evaporated after investors didn't hear what they wanted to hear from the Federal Reserve Chairman.
And coming up in weather, we've seen some cooler, more seasonable temperatures, but we do have a warm-up on the way. I'll have details on that coming up, as well as your graduation forecast.
I'm Mark Wahlberg in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
This is not what it appears to be.
It is an absolutely spectacular example of American furniture.
When I saw it, my eyes lit up. That's absolutely amazing.
Oh my God.
You're not kidding, are you?
No.
Don't miss these appraisals and many more next time on Antiques Roadshow.
And welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Elise Stolinar. We've seen a few clouds on and off today, and this is why there is low pressure moving off to our north and east that does have some spotty showers around it. Radar has been showing some on and off isolated showers moving into our region, but they shouldn't really be too much of a factor in tonight. I am keeping a slight chance for an isolated shower in the forecast, but that'll probably diminish before 10 p.m. So if we look at tonight, again, there are some stray showers that could be affecting our area, but we are looking at this high pressure that will be making its way into our region tonight, into tomorrow, and that's going to be our main character of the day weather story throughout the weekend. We're going to see plenty of high pressure into tomorrow night as well as into Saturday, giving us warmer temperatures as well as plenty of sunshine as that high pressure moves those clouds out of our region. For today, we did hit a high of 79 degrees. It's pretty close to our average of 81. Our low was a bit off from our average low. We saw 46 degrees. The sun rose this morning at 6:02 and will set this evening at 8:51 p.m. So the days are getting longer, a lot more sunshine. Right now in Athens, we are seeing 77 degrees. Some clouds out there. Winds are out of the south at 3 miles per hour. Dew points at 47 degrees, and pressure is rising at 30.07 inches as that high pressure is advancing into our region. If we take a look at the temperatures around the region, we are seeing 78 degrees in Columbus, 81 the warm spot in Lancaster, 72 in New Martinsville, 75 up in Steubenville, down to our south, 80 in Huntington, and 79 in Ashland. For your overnight conditions, we will see 71 by 9 p.m., still holding on to that chance of an isolated shower, but again, that should last only until about 10 p.m., dropping down to 55 by 3 a.m. For tonight, your low will be about 52 degrees with calm winds, partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow we'll see plenty of sunshine, 59 around 9 a.m., working our way up to 80 by 3 p.m. A few clouds making their way into the forecast. And here is your tomorrow high, 82 degrees, sunny, warm, and pleasant. We're going to see west winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. During graduation, we're probably going to be seeing temperatures around 61 degrees, so very cool. Here's a 7-day forecast. Again, plenty of sunshine. This is a picture-perfect 7-day forecast, if I must say. 85 degrees by Saturday, Sunday 91, 90 by Monday. Very warm for this weekend, but plenty of sunshine. A few clouds move in for Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures will cool down, 79 degrees if you want to say that's a cool down for Wednesday, but you really can't complain. This is the perfect way to end the year. Plenty of sunshine, warm temperatures. It can't get any better than that, I must say.
It really doesn't. And you know, June in Ohio especially, you never know what's going to happen. You know, my birthday's in June, and I remember as a little girl, like having a birthday party, and it literally was snowing. There was literally snow on the ground. So, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So I'm thrilled to see sunshine across the board. Thanks, Elise.
Well, we don't have any snow or storms here in Ohio, but it sure sounds like there's a storm last night with some thunder last night in Oklahoma City. Am I right, Mike?
That is very true. The NBA playoffs have heated up, and we have crowned a Western Conference champion. And the Reds take on the Pirates. We have all the highlights next on Newswatch.
Next time on Nature, discover predator secrets and how prey avoid the fall. Go inside, and the genius of animal engineering is revealed. When forces collide, the natural world displays superpowers. Blink, and you might miss it.
On the next episode of Monarchy, the royal family at work.
That looks all right. Yeah.
America prepares for Her Majesty the Queen.
This is the Queen's suite.
Some of you may end up interacting with the Queen.
Will everything go according to plan?
We got some rain coming from the north, there's no doubt about it.
Get ready for royalty.
It will be fine.
Join us for Monarchy, the royal family at work.
Last night saw the close of a classic Western Conference Finals matchup between the veteran-loaded San Antonio Spurs and the young but extremely talented Oklahoma City Thunder. The series started with the Spurs earning a 2-0 lead before the Thunder surged back to win 3 games in a row and put the Spurs in a win-or-go-home situation last night in Game 6. The Spurs jumped out to an early lead and took a 15-point lead into the half. In the third quarter, the Thunder outscored the Spurs 32-18 to cut the lead to 1. In the fourth quarter, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook proved to be too much for the veteran Spurs and led the Thunder to a 107-99 win. The win marks the first time since 1996 that the organization has reached the NBA Finals. Kevin Durant finished with 34 points and 14 rebounds. Westbrook added 25. The Thunder will take on the winner of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Heat and the Celtics. With the Miami Heat facing elimination tonight in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, head coach Eric Spoelstra said he is considering starting recently injured power forward Chris Bosh. Bosh played 14 minutes coming off the bench in Miami's 94-90 Game 5 loss to the Celtics. The All-Star forward averaged 18 points and nearly 8 rebounds in the regular season, and the Celtics look to punch their finals ticket tonight from TD Garden in Boston. On to a bit of hockey news. The game began with 2 tense scoreless periods in front of a sold-out Staples Center looking for the Kings' first Stanley Cup in their 45-year history. With 12:04 left in the third, Devils attacker Patrick Elias scored the game's first goal on a rebound, but the lead was short-lived as the Kings' Drew Doughty tied the game at 1 with a power play goal. Adam Henrique scored the tie-breaking goal with 4:29 to play for the Devils, and Yaya Kovalchuk added an empty netter to give the Devils a 3-1 victory. The series now moves back to New Jersey for Game 5 on Saturday. On to some pro baseball news. Johnny Cueto allowed 6 hits over 7 2/3 innings last night, and Ryan Ludwig drove in 3 runs with a bases-loaded double, leading the Cincinnati Reds to a 5-4 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Ludwig's double highlighted a 4-run 4th inning for the Redlegs. The Reds won for the 12th time in 17 games and extended their NL Central lead over the Pirates to 3 games. Aroldis Chapman pitched a perfect 9th for his 6th straight save. The left-hander hasn't allowed an earned run in 24 appearances this season, a club record. The teams will battle again tonight from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. The Indians and the Tigers were also in action today for an afternoon game. Detroit avoided a 3-game sweep and beat the Indians 7-5 for the first time in 6 meetings this year. The Indians nearly rallied from a 7-1 deficit, but with the Tigers leading by 2, Cleveland left the bases loaded in the 7th and 2 on in the 8th. Cleveland pitcher Derek Lowe allowed 7 runs and 9 hits in 5 innings. The Indians will travel to St. Louis for a 3-game interleague series with the Cardinals starting tomorrow. It's been 40 days since the Browns took a gamble on 28-year-old quarterback Brandon Weeden, and after 10 practices, the Browns like what they are seeing. Head coach Pat Shurmur says he's not ready to name Weeden the starter over incumbent signal caller Colt McCoy, but that Weeden has been running with the first team all this week during OTAs. The expectation around the Browns organization is that Weeden will start Game 1 for the Browns when Philadelphia Eagles come to Cleveland. A lawsuit bringing together many cases has been filed in federal court accusing the NFL of hiding information linking football-related head trauma to permanent brain injuries. Lawyers for former players say more than 80 pending lawsuits have been consolidated into a master complaint filed today in Philadelphia. Plaintiffs hope to hold the NFL responsible for the medical monitoring and treatment of more than 2,000 retired players. Some suffer from dementia or other ailments. In international soccer news, the UEFA European Championship kicks off tomorrow. The 16-team tournament is played once every 4 years, just like the World Cup. This will be the 14th UEFA Championship ever. Spain won the tournament in 2008 and will look to defend their crown with the tough striking of Andres Iniesta. Portugal and their superstar striker Cristiano Ronaldo are the team to beat in Group B, although I think Bjorn Schweinsteiger may have something to say about that for Germany. The group play round will start tomorrow and go on until June 19th. The finals will be held on July 1st. So what do you guys think? Do you think LeBron James and the Heat handle business tonight, or the Celtics take it?
I think he's overrated. I think Chris Bosh coming back, it's not enough for the Celtics.
You know, I'm a Cleveland fan all around, so I've had some trouble loving LeBron again, but the Heat are such a fun team. Personally, I want the Spurs to go all the way, so I've checked out a little bit, but I'd like to see the Heat do this.
Well, I'm going to root for the same team I've been rooting for the last month. It's going to be the Thunder. They're the underdog. I think they can handle it. It's going to be the Celtics and Thunder.
I will say, no matter what happens in the Eastern Conference Finals, we are in for a heck of a finals with the Thunder and the Heat, or the Thunder and the Celtics. Should be exciting.
It'll be fun.
For sure. Thanks, Mike. And stay tuned tonight on WOUB.
Here's a look at what's coming up next on your public television station. It could soon be easier to find loved ones buried at Arlington National Cemetery. USA Today reports the cemetery is expected to roll out a new smartphone app this fall that will make it simpler to navigate the cemetery's 250,000 plus graves.
The new system will also allow people with internet access to see any gravesite online, allowing for virtual visits. The new technology comes to Arlington as they try to rebuild its reputation. An investigation found it misidentified more than 200 graves and dumped unidentified cremated remains and mass graves. So now I can use my phone to check out graves at Arlington, and I can check out my phone to check out the weather.
All right, well, tonight we are going to be seeing a low around 52 degrees. There's an isolated chance for showers, but that will diminish by 10 p.m. If we take a look at tomorrow's high, we'll see 82 degrees. Graduation temperature is going to be around 61 degrees, so a very sunny and pleasant day tomorrow. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, beautiful sunshine with temperatures near 90 for the weekend, 91 Sunday and 90 on Monday. So again, this is a perfect way to end the school year and just to begin July with beautiful weather, awesome temperatures.
Yeah, we had such a warm winter, and that was, I miss the snow a little bit, but I love the sunshine.
All over again.
I don't miss the snow.
Absolutely. All right, well, thanks, Elise. And thanks for watching. For Elise Dolinar, Rachel Hoops, Mike Comiso, and myself, I'm Katie Dowd.
You can get the latest news and weather on the WOUB Radio Network, and you can view our program anytime online at WOUB.org. Have a great night.